We're also seeing that in Britain, or in England especially, where tens of thousands of English flags, the Cross of St George, have been put up lately on lampposts or anything really by just people on the ground, which distresses the state broadcaster, the BBC, which said groups responsible for putting up the flags have told the BBC they are motivated by pride and patriotism, but others have said it feels provocative at a time when tensions are running high across England over the issue of immigration. Joining me from London is writer, broadcaster and commentator Esther Krakue. Esther, great to see you. What does it say about Britain or Australia that flying the flag is now deemed by many in the BBC or wherever as provocative? That strikes me as troubling.
Yes, I mean, I think former Reform MP Rupert Lowe stated it perfectly when he said, if the flag of the country that you're living in offends you, you should probably find another country, which is basically, sums up the whole situation here. It's not just about the fact that people are now feeling reluctant to show the flags of their own country, particularly in a country like England that's not known for being particularly patriotic. It's the fact that for months, for years even, we've been seeing flags for literally everything else. On council buildings, you can see the LGBT flag, you can see the Palestinian flags, you can see literally any other flags but the flags of the country that people are paying taxes in, that people are swearing allegiance to, that people, if it came to war, would fight and die for. And this is the problem that we're seeing now, not just in Britain or Australia, but across the West. There's a sort of shame associated with celebrating your flag. I mean, we've seen such a similar situation in Germany, for example, which has a much more complicated history with its own flag and all of that. And they're saying, why can't we fly the flag here? Why can't we fly the flag in Canada? When the government wants us to pay taxes, they have no problem talking about our duty and what we have to do to make this country tick. But when somehow you want to actually celebrate the country and the values that it stands for, that's a big problem. And unfortunately, Operation Raise the Flag doesn't seem to be slowing down anytime soon, because there are just people in this country that are sick of this. They are sick of having to bow down and feel ashamed for themselves, their history, their country. And unfortunately, the BBC is just going to have to put up with it, because it looks like it's spreading. You're seeing people raising the flag all across the country now, not just in parts of the South, but in places like the Northeast, Manchester, Liverpool. It's just going to keep growing until there's a real reckoning with the fact that we just can't live in a country that we're constantly told to be ashamed of, especially when the government is taking more and more from us every day.
Oh, it's fascinating to watch. It really is. And it's interesting it comes from the grassroots. Greta Thunberg used to be the goddess of global warming. She's now on another boat to supposedly deliver aid to Gaza. The last one was intercepted by Israel. She talked a lot before sailing about how evil Israel was, but then came this in an interview with Sky News UK.
Can I just ask you your thoughts on Hamas? They're still holding hostages. What would your message to Hamas be?
Again, there is a genocide going on. Palestinians have been living under suffocating oppression, and when there is an occupational force, this is not my views. By international law, people have a right to resist that occupation.
Three things about that, Esther. I mean, first, Israel was not occupying an inch of Gaza when Hamas took those hostages. Two, there is no genocide. And three, is she excusing Hamas for holding and starving Jewish hostages?
I'll tell you what's even more incredible, that, and as a national broadcaster like Sky News UK is even asking a young lady who's basically a truant that became world famous for whinging about climate change, anything about the nuances of the Israel-Gaza conflict. That's what I find astonishing. Why? What qualifications does she have? The last boat that she tried to take to Gaza, which is literally a war zone, was intercepted. Why is she doing this again? For the attention. And this is what I keep saying. It's become the omni cause. People that have no real intimate understanding of these sorts of issues. It's become the same as LGBT rights and climate change and now Israel-Gaza. They're just one cause for people that have nothing better to do than to just make media headlines. And the fact that that journalist could seriously ask this young woman with a straight face, not what job do you have? Are you going to seek employment anytime soon? But what would your message be to Israel? As if the Knesset is in any way making political decisions based on Greta Thunberg is hilarious to me.
But when she's get asked about Hamas, which has slaughtered 1,200 Jews and started this war, still holding hostages underground. No, well, I know, but she just doesn't want to talk about that. I mean, it's just the denial is extraordinary.
Yeah, she doesn't have a clue. I mean, I'm sure she would say something nice like, "Oh, release the hostages," and all I want is peace. But the reality is, she's just grandstanding, and she's using this conflict as a way to get her name in the headlines. I'd like to remind people that this lady is in her early 20s. It's high time she found a job.
Esther, no one can accuse you of slacking. I think we probably, I don't know, I've lost count, maybe 3 or 4, 5, 6 jobs. So thank you very much for including this show as one of them. Esther Krakue, talk to you later. Actually, I've got something, announcement on that front I will make tomorrow.